Ulysses is considered Joyce's masterpiece. It is a novel of 18 episodes, all set in Dublin on June the 16th, 1904. The three main characters are a middle-aged advertising salesman called Leopold Bloom, his wife, Molly Bloom, and a young school teacher and aspiring writer called Stephen Dedalus. In Ulysses, not much happens in terms of actual events. The novel tells the story of a day in the life of Leopold Bloom, who gets up, walks around Dublin, and meets various people along the way. The plot of Ulysses is like a map on which we follow Leopold Bloom's wanderings. The various journeys of Bloom, Stephen, and Molly are also voyages through the internal sea of their own consciousness, which we are invited to listen to. Bloom is the Ulysses of the title and wanders about the street of Dublin just as Homer's Ulysses wandered about the Mediterranean. Ulysses was designed as a detailed account of ordinary life on an ordinary Dublin day, and Joyce placed his characters in houses he knew, drinking in pubs he had frequented, walking on cobblestones he retraced. Consequently, Dublin becomes itself a character in this novel. Bloom's wanderings reproduce, imitate, and occasionally parody the epic travels of Ulysses. Joyce claimed that the modern traveler doesn't need to start a physical journey to discover new lands, but he must face a psychological one. There are a number of parallelisms between the two books. The 18 episodes in the novel are modeled on equivalent episodes in Homer's texts, but in Ulysses, these usually become parodic. Joyce shows how the problems, conflicts, triumphs, and tragedies of the classical world are the same problems faced by modern men. The difference is that modern man is imperfect. He's not a hero. He cannot rely on the kindness of the gods to help him through his struggles. However, this ordinariness of Joyce's characters contains a depth and vitality which no classical hero possesses. The main characters in the book are based on the Homeric mode as follows. Bloom as Ulysses, Stephen as his son Telemachus, and Molly as Penelope. The Homeric parallels are the most important structural device in the novel. Each chapter is additionally organized around a different hour, a color, an organ of the body, a sense, a symbol, a narrative technique suitable for the subject matter. Ulysses is full of quotations and references to the history of Western literature, not only Homer, but also Virgil, Dante, Shakespeare, Vico, and Aquinas. Critics consider Ulysses a work that attempts to bridge the divide between the modern and the classical world, so it is a modern epic. The language used is rich in puns, images, contrasts, paradoxes, juxtapositions, interruptions, false clues, and symbols. The range of vocabulary and registers is amazing. In almost every episode, slang, catchphrases, nicknames voice the unspoken activity of the mind. Throughout the novel, Joyce's use of interior monologue attempts to simulate the workings of the consciousness in several ways. Firstly, it often employs incomplete sentences. Then there is interrupted syntax, slips of the tongue, sudden changes of tense to indicate the intermingling of past, present, and anticipated future events. Thoughts are connected by free association. We have the impression that there isn't one dominant idea, and new information constantly interferes with the thoughts which are being elaborated. All of these devices help to produce an increased sense of realism. Joyce does not select material. He preserves everything that passes through our minds. Yet, at the same time, Ulysses is structured according to a very precise symbolic system. Apart from interior monologue, Joyce employs practically every single rhetorical technique and style in English, from Latin liturgy and Anglo-Saxon poetry to the language of advertising slogans and popular magazines. In this sense, it is also an encyclopedic novel. When it first came out, the book was considered immoral, incoherent, chaotic, obscure, almost impossible to read. Joyce's work is an experiment where he wildly plays with the narrative techniques. Some chapters concentrate on a phonic representation of events. Some are mock historical. One is told in epigrammatic form, another is laid out as a drama. Traditional narrative seems to be insufficient to give a meaning to an extremely fragmentary present. So Joyce decided to give solidity to his novel by echoing episodes, characters, and incidents from the Odyssey. In this way, the classic text is used as a framework for the novel in a continuous parallel between contemporary life and ancient mythology. Joyce built his text around a complex system of allusions, which was defined as mythical method by Eliot. Eliot sees the structure as a way of controlling, of ordering, of giving a shape and a significance to the immense panorama of futility and anarchy, which is contemporary history.